Hello everyone. In today's session, we will see how to define a function in Python. Let's start it. Before looking at how to define a function in Python, I would like to mention two things over here. One is like whenever you define any function in Python, it is a good idea to include a docstring of that particular function. Docstring is nothing but a simple description of that particular function, such that what a function is doing, what are its input parameters, like what all different arguments the function is taking, what will be the output, and if there is any kind of error, so what will be that error, as well as if you want, you can also include example like how to execute that particular function in docstring. Though to include docstring is not important and it's not the compulsory part, but it is useful from the two perspective. First perspective is it is required as per the PEP standard. Second is if you include docstring in your function, the other person who is looking at your code will have an idea that what a function is doing. So if any person is looking at your code, he will be able to understand that what a function is actually doing, what are the parameters it requires, what are the data types of those parameters, and what will be the output of that particular function. Another thing that I would like to talk about is indentation. So indentation can be defined as one tab or four spaces. Python is indentation based language where its syntax is defined through indentation. So if we want to convey that second statement is a part of first statement, in that case we will use indentation. So we will see indentation and docstring in the next few minutes while looking at the function. So let's start with it. Okay, and one more thing, that there is no particular format for the docstring. The docstring format that I have used over here is I have taken from this particular URL. This URL, I will put it in the description box, so you can take a look at that. And yeah, docstring, you can access it via this particular part, print function name dot double underscore doc double underscore. So you can consider double underscore as the underscore. This is the very basic function without any argument or without any parameter. So to define a function in Python, you need to use this keyword def, that is stands for define or definition. So def is the keyword to define a function in Python. Then you need to provide the function name. So over here I have provided the function name is c underscore I. Then you will need to put this parenthesis. Within this parenthesis, if you are going to use any parameter, if you are going to provide any arguments to the function, you need to write it over here in between these parentheses. And if not, you need to leave it blank. Then colon, and then enter. So as soon as you enter, the very next line will start with the indentation. So you can see over here that I am using PyCharm IDE, and as soon as I have entered, it has started with one tab or four spaces indentation. So this is the default functionality of PyCharm. In some editors, you will get this functionality. In some, you need to add adding, or in some, you might not get it. So over here, then I have defined a docstring. So always you need to define a docstring in 3 double quotes. Within 3 double quotes, you need to write a short description that what a function is doing. For example, over here, I have mentioned that a basic function to print hello world. This is the example of function without any argument or parameters. So how this docstring can be useful? So if you are using ID, in that case, if you hover your cursor on that particular function like this or like this, so you will get that docstring in that pop-up screen. So over here you can see that my script name is functions.py, so that name is provided over here. then def keyword, function name, blank parenthesis, as I have not provided any parameter or argument. Then its output will be a string, and this is the short description, that a basic function to print hello, something like this. Okay, and finally you need to write your statements over here, something like this, return hello world. So in Python, to execute the code, you need to use three keys: Alt, Shift, E, and it will start the Python console and execute the selected lines. Okay. Once you have completed the definition of function, you can call that particular function by this way, like function name and then blank parenthesis if you are not using any argument or parameters. Okay, so like this, say hi and Alt Shift E. Okay, so it will give you the result hello world that we have defined over here, like this. If we want to get the docstring of this particular function, all that print, then we need to say function name, let's just say hi, then the underscore doc, the underscore, and again Alt Shift E, and it will provide me the docstring as is, like a basic function to print hello world and a function without any argument or parameters, something like this. Next, let's see another example of defining a very simple function without any argument or parameters. Over here, again, I have used def keyword to define a function, then function name, let's say current date and time, then blank parenthesis as I am not providing any parameter over here to this function, then colon, and then enter. So that will be the new line. Over here again, a docstring has been provided, like a basic function to return current timestamp, and then what I'm doing is I have imported a datetime package over here. Though that is not good practice, you should import all the required packages on the top of the script, like over here, something like this, like from datetime import date time, something like this. But for time being, I am defining it under this particular function. So yeah, import package name from datetime, import datetime, and then return datetime now. So again, I will execute this code by selecting all the required lines and pressing Alt Shift E. And yeah, that particular code has been executed. Now I will call this function by this way, function name and blank parenthesis, as I am not using any parameter. Okay, so you can see over here it has provided me the output, like 13th September and current timestamp. So that's it for the day. Thank you everyone for watching this video.